2015, NAWASA conceptualized a project which we thought was very useful, not just to NAWASA as an organization responsible for water and sewage management in Grenada, but also to the entire island of Grenada, with specific the school population. We've realized that over the past years, whenever NAWASA had to shut off our water systems for whatever reason, teachers, parents had to feel the brunt of this because students had to be sent home. As a mother myself, I understood what it meant because it affected me on many levels. So we decided, you know what, a lack of education, even for just a few hours, should not be a reason why, because of water, students had to be sent home. So we conceptualized this project in 2015. Unfortunately, funding became an issue because when it was worked out, would have cost us over 200,000 EC dollars. In 2017, through a discussion with NADMA, we realized that there was avenues available for NAWASA to be beneficiary of funding through SEDIMA. So NAWASA said, why not? We had actually a matter of 2 days to submit a project proposal, which we did. And then we received the good news a few months later that our project was selected as one of those with full funding, should I add. We saw it as being very important because we understood and we still understand the importance of education, not just to a student, but also to a community, to a parent, and also to a nation on a whole. So when we decided to implement this project, and with the support of SEDIMA, we were able to see lives being changed. From the feedback that we have received from the teachers and the principals in particular, the 17 schools that have benefited under this project have never had to send their students home because of a lack of water. And this is what we were solely trying to aim at getting with this project. So we are very happy that we would have received the push from NADMA through the avenue made available to NAWASA to go through SEDIMA under the Country Directive Fund for this project.
Let me begin by thanking SEDIMA for partnering with us to provide the funding for us to complete our initiative. It fits with our strategic direction, which is largely based on sustainability and our whole ability to withstand our seasonal challenges, both rainy season challenges and dry season challenges. Storage is a big factor in us achieving those objectives, and it's one of the areas where we have had significant deficiencies. This project has allowed us to address the critical component of storage at the school level. Unfortunately, we had many occurrences of school days being interrupted due to problems on the network and inadequate storage on the school compound. So we have been able to address this. We also have to bear in mind that our schools are used as shelters in post-disaster situations. So we are also at the same time providing that resilience in the aftermath of any kind of natural disaster, most common naturally being what takes place during the hurricane season. So we've covered that aspect of weakness that we had in the system, and again I'm saying we're very happy for the support in that area. We also using this project, or the assets generated by this project. We had a few extra storage tanks, and we are using those to deploy in communities. We have some communities that are problematic to supply in the dry season. They would also be problematic to supply in the aftermath of a natural disaster. They are generally dense pockets in high elevations. So what we have done and what we will continue to do is we deploy the tanks in predetermined strategic locations. We fill these tanks by water truck, and the persons in and around the storage tanks are able to at least address their daily needs using buckets. So we deploy them now they're out because we are challenged with the current dry season conditions. When the conditions improve and the supply is back to normal on a sustainable basis, we will bring the tanks back into storage and have them there to be deployed during the next dry season if needed, or in the unfortunate, unlikely event that we have a hurricane or major storm that affects the network in the hurricane season. So we're going to be using the assets given to us through this project in both ways. The fixed locations in the schools are providing that continuity of daily use from the schools. In the aftermath of a hurricane, they will be there available for shelter, security, and we are also using the other tanks as part of our preparation both for dry season and hurricane season.
The national objective for the National Water and Sewage Authority is well known: a safe, reliable supply of water to all citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Climate change, more particularly the attendant result of climate change, a national disaster, has made this task more and more difficult during the years. Not too long ago, we remember Ivan and Emily. And as Minister of Public Utilities, the recovery process and the many meetings that we had, at that time it was at Gren Lake's facility in Grand Anse. And the recovery was indeed difficult. Now we have problems with drought, again climate change. This year in particular has been particularly serious. And so the input from SEDEMA with respect to this particular project of water tanks to those in need, and this is of critical importance because the more affluent will have one or two tanks or the storage capacity. So this has worked tremendously for the benefit of our people, in the sense that NAWASA can now supply the water and they have storage facility for quite a while. It has helped tremendously, and we simply want to recognize and commend SEDEMA and its donors, in this case in particular the European Union, for all that we have benefited from this particular project. The project in particular is of tremendous importance to the younger children who cannot withstand the effect of the climate change, in particular the drought, because of the need for a constant supply and the use of water. Therefore, it is of great import that this project is implemented, at this particular time, just before, at the end of the rainy season, into the dry season in this 2019 period. So, as a minister responsible for NAWASA, for the entire government, we must commend the effort, and we look forward to greater collaboration. And as we move forward, we know that you're limited by the construct of the donation and the resources that you can get. And we know SEDEMA for the region is doing quite well, and we expect to see us growing from strength to strength, and we look forward to this collaboration as we go forward.
The first thing I would like to indicate is to really express, on behalf of Grenada on a whole, our appreciation for this project. Actually, at the commencement of the project, I was not at the agency. I came and I met it in train, and it is something that as soon as I saw it, learned of it, understood the intricate details of the project, I thought it was a wonderful, meaningful project, and I became immediately excited about it. I walked through the aspects of it. I had site visits in some of the areas where some of the things had to be installed, and really and truly it is a project that NADMA was happy to be on board with, we're happy to continue if there are other aspects of the project that would be rolled out later on, because it has had an immediate impact on schools. I think because schools are also used as shelters, that the longer term benefit of it would be obviously realized. The answer to a continuation or collaboration or sustainability of an initiative of this sort, I would really endorse it, because as I mentioned previously, I've already seen the usefulness of the project. I've seen the longevity of it. I've seen the capacity that it has the potential to build for Grenada in disaster fraternity. I mentioned increasing capacities at shelters and serving that crucial, critical need that is providing water. You may have the regular lines and conduits through which the water will flow, but if you have some kind of a crisis and you don't have storage facility, it makes the crisis even worse. And so an initiative of this sort is one that we would want to continue to support. And even if we are not getting support from the original source, we would seek other sources because of the importance of this gesture. I see not just continuing that, but I see us expanding to other aspects of our society if we can commit to that. There was one suggestion that we can look at even the security of the country, the key installations outside of schools, whether or not we can expand the project to support those kind of a institution. And I think that that is something that is worth considering. This could be used, if not already, as a pilot, but it is definitely a place to start, and is definitely something to continue. And I do not have to get the endorsement. I don't have to get the comments from the Prime Minister or the Minister with responsibility. I know it is supported. I know it is a good initiative, and it's something that we will definitely continue and look for opportunities to expand on.